Welcome back. We're going to go ahead and go over two little things today that will make your Friday go by a little bit better. These are two little tricks for your bag. We're going to start off with a simple one in Illustrator. I want to show you this. I'm going to go ahead and click and drag out a text box. I'm going to get a really bold font, something that is a sans serif. We've talked about this before. Your sans serif fonts do not have feet, so I'm going to type in 919. Command A. I'm going to hold down Command Shift and Option in the right alligator mouth. Command Shift and Option in the right alligator mouth. I can make those letters really big at one time. Now, as I have them to this size, I can go around and look. I'm going to find something that's a little bit fatter as a font. Something that is that will work for this. That works right there. Make it a little bit smaller so it fits on the screen. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is show you all how to triple click on a word, and if you hold down Command Shift and the right or left square bracket, you can pull letters in or pull them out. Okay? Again, that is Command Shift, right or left square brackets. For this, I'm going to pull them kind of tight like this onto each other. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and hit Command Shift O, which is a shortcut for creating outlines. Then we're going to simply hit flip our foreground, our fill color to our stroke color. And now I'm just going to go to Object, Path, Offset Path. And then, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and click there. And then you can see if I set my cursor right here, I can bring that, I can actually drag it inward if I set my cursor and press the down arrow in there. I can pull it in or go out. So I'm going to go about right there. So all the letters are overlapping. I'm going to say OK. Now, I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to grab my white arrow tool. And the object here is that I'm going to zoom in for a little bit. I'm going to grab my white arrow tool, click right here, select the inside of that letter, hold down Shift, select that part, and create a new layer. And I'm just going to drag those up to that layer by clicking and dragging the dot. You'll see the color of the outline changes color. I'm going to also do that right here on that letter, drag that one up, slide over here, and then do that right here, selecting these two that are blue and drag them up. Again, just clicking there. So if I turn those off, you see these parts right here of the letter, which is kind of where we want to be. So I'm going to click these parts right here and hit delete. Click these parts right here and hit delete. Do the same thing here. I'm just kind of deleting the inner parts. Alright, so now if I select these right here and just simply say pull up my Pathfinder panel and I use the Unite feature, since they're overlapping, they're going to make one path. So let's see what happens. Bam. There they go. So here's the cool thing. I can now click on that. It's all one path. I could use the stroke panel. And I can align the stroke to the outside right here, aligning stroke. I'm going to click and make sure it's aligned to the outside so that if I bump up the stroke weight, it's going bigger on the outside. Okay? And if I hold down Shift, it goes in intervals of 10. So if I turn the layers back on and I got that layer on the inside, you see that one right there. We can select that layer, turn off the bottom layer, rubber band over that layer. We can make the letters black, make these white here in the color panel, and then just turn on our background layer, and we've created kind of a cool design. Now, I want to show you how you can really do this to almost anything. So, for example, if you're using I don't know, maybe you go to the line tool and you start creating a spiral, and you like that spiral, you can select it. Let's give it a black stroke, and I can go to Object, Path, Offset Path, Preview, and you see I have multiples now. I can bring it down. I can also make it rounded. So if you say OK and click away, you see I have two now. And I can duplicate that one and just keep on building. Object, Path, Offset Path, and Preview. See? And you get the idea. You can just keep on doing that and you create these kind of cool effects. Alright, so what we're going to do now is, I try to show you this one last time with a simple pen tool. Just making, say for instance, you find a shape. Maybe you want to make the shape of a cloud, right? And there you are. You can make any kind of shape you want and use this technique. And it doesn't even have to close. I can just click now and go Object Path, Offset Path, Preview, and you see it. So, and I can just repeat that again, just like I did there. But don't forget that, by the way, you can take shapes that you create and add them to each other and just unite them and do the same thing here. So here I am with this shape right here, Object Path, Offset Path. You get it. You get it. All right, cool. All right, so there you go. You can change the colors of these. It's that's something you can do with your design. That will create the type features for something we're coming up with soon. You can use like a line font and think of it like just simply writing your words out. Let's go on over to Photoshop and I'll show you what we're going to learn about. We've been talking about using masks. For example, if I turn these layers off right here and click on my mask tool and use what color? If I use black. If I use black and I use my paintbrush and I drag it up just a bit and I paint, you notice that if it's not at there it is, 100, you can see I can get rid of the sky. Okay, there I go. Now, as I get rid of the sky, let's talk about adding just the skull there. Cool. There it is. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off for a second and turn this one on and turn the one on the bottom. So I'm going to put here. We've been using opacity layer masks in just black and white, but if we use a lower opacity, it just slightly brings it in. So this time I'm going to bring an opacity mask on both of these, or layer mask, and I'm just going to paint with 40% on this layer right here and see what happens as you start seeing lightly the color of the feathers comes in. Now I can keep on painting and I can gradually shift it into something else, and that's the secret here. Okay, I'm going to delete that mask, also show you some extra control you have. This kind of looks haunting, like this eagle's going to come over the school and eat everyone. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that and say delete. Okay, let me go back real quick. Delete. There we go. And delete. Okay, so let's delete this layer, this whole layer right there, and just change the blend mode of these. This is right here, it's called the blend mode. If I change it to multiply, automatically the two images overlap. But I can be like, maybe I don't want some of this school to come through. So then come back to your idea of giving it a mask. And then, so you can paint, and if you paint 100%, you can get completely rid of the thing underneath it. So there you go. That's using a blend mode of multiply and then opacity masks. Play around with that today. Maybe you can combine the two to make a sports poster of some sort or create something with it. Okay? Signing off.